So I was watching my student shoot, so I looked back and I noticed this woman pull a firearm out of her purse and point it right at her daughter's head. What's up, guys? Ryan here with Carey University. If you are brand new to the channel, consider subscribing. We talk about everything that has to do with Florida concealed carry, firearm reviews, holster reviews, and everything you need to know to become a safe, more responsible concealed carry permit holder. Okay, so recently I was at the range, I was with a student, and I was hanging up a new target, and I looked back, and I saw this woman who brought her 11-year-old daughter to the range. Little girl is sitting on a chair, and the mother pulls the gun out of her purse, points it right at her daughter's head, and then walks up to the firing line. So I stopped her and I said, ma'am, I grabbed the gun and I said, we only handle firearms at the firing line. And she goes, oh no, it's okay, the gun's unloaded. And I said, you know, that's fine, but it doesn't matter if the gun is unloaded or not. We treat all firearms as if they're loaded. One of the primary gun range etiquette rules is to only handle firearms at the table so that this way we know where the guns are pointed. Now, it was at this point, I dropped the magazine and guess what? The magazine was loaded. Then I locked the slide to the rear and guess what flew out? A bullet. So this gun was fully loaded and this woman thought it was empty. Gun was fully loaded, pointed right at her 11-year-old daughter's head. So I just said to this woman, I want you to fully understand, ma'am, that you almost killed your daughter just now. We were a microsecond away from this little girl's brains being all over the floor because you are not paying attention, because you did not take the time to really understand and learn gun safety and gun range etiquette on a deep subconscious level. Now, as I've mentioned a lot in other videos, gun safety and gun range etiquette, it is a multi-layered approach to keep you safe. The idea is that even if you were to break one of the gun safety rules, the other gun safety rules are going to protect you from potentially hurting yourself or somebody around you. Now, the problem comes when individuals who have failed to learn or master any of it, they end up breaking more than one rule, and that's how people end up getting shot or killed. One of the very basic firearm safety rules is to always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. So a safe direction is a place that even if the gun were to go off, it is not possible for anybody to be hurt or killed. At a gun range, a safe direction is pointed at the target. Inside of your home, a safe direction would be an exterior wall because they're typically made out of concrete. Now, when you arrive at a gun range, you always want to bring your bag up to the firing line, and here is where you're going to remove your firearm. Never should you be bringing your bag to the back table and removing your gun and walking back and forth with it. This is extremely dangerous and uncalled for. Only handle the firearm right at the firing line. So recently, again, I was at the gun range and I'm standing behind my student as he was shooting, and I look over here and I noticed this man, he pat his bag up on the back table, he pulled his gun out, he pointed it right at me and my student, and he went and set it down on the table. So I walked up to him and I said, hey sir, at this gun range, we only handle firearms at the firing line. And he goes, listen here, son, you know this is gonna be bad when the guy you're trying to help is saying, listen here, son. So he goes, listen here, son, I've been shooting longer than you've been alive. I said, okay, well, you suck at it. So if you've been shooting, I'm 37 years old, if you've been shooting more than 37 years and you still do not understand the basic concept of only handling a firearm at the firing line, then you might not be smart enough for this. So this individual could have easily killed me or my student, all because he lacked a deep understanding of this one core concept. Now, only handling a firearm at the firing line basically means that when you bring your bag up, you're going to open up your bag and you're going to look inside to see which direction the firearm is pointing. If the firearm is pointing towards you, you would not touch the gun. Instead, you would spin the bag around so that the firearm was now pointing in a safe direction, which is at the target. Only then is it acceptable for you to pull the gun out and set it down on the table. Keeping that gun pointed in a safe direction also means never pointing the firearm at the walls, the table, or even the floors. It always shocks me to go to indoor gun ranges and just look around for where all the bullet holes are. This is a huge indicator that somebody is handling a firearm when they have very little knowledge of gun safety. And it's also the primary reason I refuse to go to the gun range with lots of other people. Now, if you guys want to learn more about how you can develop some of these proper shooting fundamentals and gun safety on a very deep level, I would encourage you to consider the Beginner's Guide to Firearms course. This is an amazing online class that is going to teach you how to practice and train with your gun safely in your house. As I mentioned before, the 80-20 principle, the 80% of your training with a gun should be at home with an unloaded firearm. The 20%, that's the test. That's going to the gun range. But the vast majority of your training should be at home with an unloaded firearm so that you can develop these core fundamentals properly the first time. And that's what this Beginner's Guide to Firearms course is going to teach you. So I'm going to include a link down below if you want to sign up for that. Definitely take advantage of this. It's a huge opportunity. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Tell me if you have ever seen anything really crazy or dangerous at a gun range. And until next time, keep training and stay safe.